a few minutes late today. We had a bit of technical challenges, but we are now ready to go. Today, we have a very important topic, something we haven't addressed here before, eating disorders, nutrition and eating disorders. We have with us a dietitian, and I'm going to leave her to introduce herself. She's called Hanifat. She has a lot of experience in this area. She's going to lead the discussion for us. We're still waiting for others to join us, but wherever you are, Facebook, YouTube, if you have any questions on this topic, please drop it in the chat on social media. We'll pick it up and address these questions for you. So without much ado, I will invite Hanifat to take us for today's Healthy Heart session. Thank you, Hanifat.
Yeah, thank you, Eva, for that beautiful introduction. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yeah, my name is Hanifat, and I'm a registered dietitian. Apologies that we're starting a bit late. It's just what's beyond, it's actually beyond us. So I've got, let me just say a bit of introduction about myself. I've been a registered dietitian for over 7 years now. I currently work as a dietitian in Nigeria before moving to the UK. And in the UK, I've worked with 3 NHS trusts as a dietitian. And I just, so my last role was specialist mental health dietitian. I just picked up a new role as a PCN dietitian. So I think it's about my 4th role now in the UK. So I think that's basically about me. Thank you, Eva.
Nice. Thanks, Hanifat. Okay. Do you want to share any slides you have?
Yes, I do have.
Okay.
Slides. I don't know if you can see it.
Yes, we can. Yeah.
All right. So I think for eating disorder, the topic is actually a broad one. It's not something we can just be looking at the overview of just what eating disorder is, because eating disorder is not a global health challenge now. It is what everyone needs to be aware of. It's not like how it used to be before. We need to be aware of it because it's around us and it is what we should all be aware of. So I'll just go into a brief discussion about eating disorder today because, like I said earlier on, it's a very, very broad topic. So it's not something we can do in an hour. So these are going to be my outlines. I will be defining eating disorders. And I don't know if,
sorry, Hanifa, can you put it on slide show, make full screen, please?
All right. Let me see now.
Yeah, if you bring it to, where's your cursor? If you bring it down towards, yes, you see, yeah, just to your right.
Yeah. Full screen.
Yeah, full screen, yes.
Can you see?
No, not yet. If you move the cursor to, I don't know how to describe that thing.
Yeah, I'm trying to see.
Okay.
Full screen. Where is the full screen now?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. Yeah, can you see it now?
Yes, that works. Yeah.
Okay. So those are the outlines. Like I said, we can make it as interactive as possible because eating disorder is not just what a dietitian knows. Everyone knows about it. Everyone has heard one thing or the other about it. So if you can make it interactive, I think that will be really, we'll be learning from each other. So let's go into it. This is just eating disorder is just it's a mental health condition where persistent disturbance in eating behaviors and related thoughts and emotions. Eating disorder is when you are trying to manage emotion through food. It depends on how you see food. So there is the diagnosis of eating disorder that a lot of people don't know. We have the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorder, 5th edition. We call them DSM-5, which was developed by the American Psychiatric Associations. So they are the ones that defined eating disorder into 5, according to the outlines. I couldn't bring the outlines here because they're actually much more. They are outlines because there's a difference between eating disorder and disordered eating. A lot of people actually don't know that there's a difference between them. So eating disorder, before someone can be diagnosed with eating disorder, the person must have been diagnosed with this DSM-5, which is developed by the American Psychiatric Association. But majority of the things we have is usually disordered eating, because any other thing that doesn't fall into the 5 categories that was classified by the DSM-5. That's the anorexia nervosa, the bulimia nervosa, the eating disorder, and the avoidance restrictive food intake disorder, and other specific feeding and eating disorder. That's offset. So if your diagnosis is not within this 5, then you have disordered eating. Disordered eating is something. Can you still hear me, please? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. So if you're not been diagnosed with this 5 eating disorder, definitely you have disordered eating. Example of disordered eating is fasting, dieting, restricting calorie intake. Those are disordered eating. So a lot of this actually class under disordered eating, not eating disorder. So for you to be, so in the hospital, you usually see a lot of common disordered eating and not eating disorder, because you have to be diagnosed with DSM-5 that I said earlier on disorder. I don't know if that makes sense. So there is
the line was just couldn't hear you properly with the last sentence you made.
Can you hear me now? I said that majority of the diagnosis is usually disordered eating and not eating disorder. Because for you to have the eating disorder, you have to undergo this diagnosis of the DSM-5 that I said earlier on. That's the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorder, which was developed by the American Psychiatric Association. That is what we use in diagnosis. We use it in diagnosis of eating disorder. So most times, a lot of people do have disordered eating and not eating disorder.
Right. So just a point to clarify. So disordered eating is not a mental health condition.
Yeah, because it's not under the DSM-5.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So it is just like anybody that's trying to, maybe you're dieting, maybe you're fasting, maybe you're restricting calorie intake, maybe you are not eating, maybe you're skipping meals. Those are disordered eating. Everything is categorized under disordered eating.
So what we perceive as normal is disordered. When there's any disorder to the normal pattern of eating, that is known as disordered eating.
Exactly.
But an eating disorder is a mental.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. If you're not eating the 3 square meals and 2 snacks of healthy, balanced eating, then you have disordered eating. Because on a normal day, we're supposed to be having at least 3 full meals and 2 snacks in between. That's regular eating. So anything off the regular eating is disordered eating.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it's clear. Hopefully, yeah, it's clear to everyone as well.
Let me just go to the next one. So we have the prevalence of eating disorder in young adults, like we're doing today, young adults, adolescents. So eating disorder affects people of all ethnics and culture, but little is known about the prevalence in the African population. Anyone can get eating disorder, but teenagers, young adults between 13 and 17 are mostly affected. Now in the hospital, we see kids of 10, 11 years coming up with eating disorder. So it's not fixed to this age range again. Anyone can actually have eating disorders. But according to a study published in the BMC, psychiatric eating disorders are more common in Black individuals in the UK than previously thought. A lot of people thought that it wasn't common among the Black population in the UK, but now it's been seen that research has shown that it's been seen in Black population than previously thought. Then the study also found that the prevalence of eating disorders was highly among African and Caribbean communities, with 1.1% of African Caribbean women reporting a diagnosis of anorexia nervosa and 3% reporting bulimia nervosa. So it's the research is going on, and it's been shown that even among Blacks in the UK, we still have eating disorder. Considering the fact that the Black people accounted for 7% of all eating disorder cases in the UK, despite making up of 2% of the population of the UK. So that means we have a large population of Blacks that have eating disorder in the UK compared to the population of people that we have in the UK. So I think the problem we Africans have with eating disorder is more of stigmatization. We believe that there's nothing like eating disorder, which is actually occurring, which some studies have already shown that we have it amongst us, but we usually deny it. We are in denial of the fact that there is eating disorder among our adolescents, among our young adults as well. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yes, I think that's clear.
Yeah. So like I said earlier on, according to the DSM-5, we have eating disorder, it's been classified into 5. So we have the anorexia nervosa, that's the eating, restricting food, not eating enough food, excessive exercising, fear of gaining weight, body image and other symptoms that impair physical and mental health, or counting calories, excessive calorie counting. I've got patients that they would come and tell me that they've only had 200 calories per day. I'm like, you're surviving with 200 calories per day. I don't know how they survive. You know, with these young adults, they know everything. They know what they want. They even you as a physician, you know, they know what they're going to hear from you. Sometimes you'll be thinking that, okay, you're getting to a good point with them, and you just see that they're going back to where they had before. So it's excessive exercising. I had a patient that told me that she usually does 25 steps per day, and she does 5 miles per day. I'm like, 25 steps with with 5 miles, that's a lot compared to what you are doing. So that is what anorexia nervosa is, and majority of it now is as a result of the fact that social media it's a contributing factor. A lot of people want to be models, they want to copy the celebrities, they want to, you know. So it's really, like I said, it's really a public health concern. Eating disorder is a public health concern. That's why we all need to be aware of it. That's about the anorexia nervosa. Then the bulimia is just recurrent episode of binge eating followed by not wanting to add weight, but eating more than you're supposed to eat, but at the same time now taking drastic measures of not adding weight. You want to prevent weight. Maybe you are purging, you're vomiting, or you're using laxatives after eating. You purge yourself. You make yourself sick. You put in you're using laxative. Just looking for different ways of not adding weight as a result of the bulimia that you're having. So that's what bulimia nervosa is all about. Just not able to control what you're eating, and at the same time looking for different ways to get that weight off and not wanting to add weight. And binge eating disorder, that's the bed. That's you eating uncontrollable until you are full, until you are uncomfortably full. That's binge eating. Binge eating is also common in the UK. It's common. You see some people not eating for maybe 4 hours and not following the regular eating pattern, and maybe at night time they binge, and at the end of the day they are unable to control it and they eat more than what they're supposed to eat. So that's what binge eating is all about. And the avoidance and the restrictive food intake disorder, I usually have patients come up with this as well. It's just them avoiding certain foods and limiting how much they eat or does both of the food. Like I had a patient that she told me that she couldn't eat on a plate with different foods. The food has to be in different plates, you know. negative feelings over the taste or texture of certain foods. That's avoidance or restrictive food intake. Not wanting to eat this because of the smell, not wanting to take this because of the odor, not wanting to take that's the avoidance and restrictive. Then the other specific feeding or eating disorder, that's the offset. That's an eating disorder that doesn't meet the criteria for anorexia, bulimia, or binge eating disorder, but still causes significant distress or impairs. That's the atypical anorexia nervosa. That's the purging disorder as well. Night eating syndrome, I think, is still applicable to binge eating. And if you look at all these types of eating disorder, one way or the other, except for the anorexia nervosa, they have a way that they are interwoven, they are interconnected, because it's still majority of the same thing that happens. It's just the anorexia nervosa that is different, and that's what really common. The anorexia nervosa is really common. It's really common among the adolescents and young adults because of the fact that they don't want to add weight, they want to be like a model, and they just want to stay that figure. At the end of the day, it's affecting their physical and mental health. I don't know if anybody has any question at this stage, or I should continue.
Let's see, nothing in the chat box yet. Yeah, so please feel free to interact, unmute yourself if you have any questions. Not yet. So I think we can go on.
All right.
I don't know if you're still going to touch on this, but amongst these 5 that you have, a question from me, sorry, Hanifa, yeah, you have just described, which of them seem to be more prevalent among African and Caribbean populations? Is there anything from the studies you checked?
Yeah, I think that would be the anorexia nervosa.
Anorexia nervosa seems to be the most common one. Okay, okay.
Which is what we see mostly among African and Caribbean, and which is even among the white population as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you look at the risk factors, what the things that can make someone have eating disorder, we have the biological factors. If the adolescent with a family history of eating disorder may be at risk, increased risk for developing one themselves. So I had a patient, I have an example for this, because I had a patient that the mom too had an eating disorder, and that really affected the child. I think for her, it wasn't even because the mom had an eating disorder, but it was because the mom was restricting food intake. The mom was making them eat just a particular kind of food. She was transferring her own symptoms and challenges, she was transferring into the kids. So that was how the child developed the eating disorder as well. Mom told them not to eat this, not to eat that, because it makes them fat, it makes them ugly, it makes them look like a pig. It was really a challenging case for me, because I was wondering, how will a mom, because you yourself need help and you are still trying to make your child not doing the right thing. So it was really challenging for me. But at the end of the day, I realized that the mom herself needed help. So we're able to help the mom and we're able to help the child move away from it. But this is really, it is true, because it has happened to me. I've seen a patient that had this, the mom had the eating disorder, and it affected the child. It wasn't even from the gene, it was because of what the mom was doing in the house. It was because of her actions, was because of a restrictive behavior. That was what made the child to develop that eating disorder. So
right.
In this one, yeah.
So, can I ask a question on that particular case? So was the mother aware that she had an eating disorder problem? Was she aware? Or how I don't know if you're going to talk about diagnosis, but how did that case get to you?
Okay, so when we did our findings, we realized that she was actually referred to a clinic while she was an adolescent as well, but she didn't attend the clinic. So we did our background check, because it was a red flag for me, and it was like a safeguarding issue for me. So I needed to raise concern. So we needed to know where this was coming from. So she was diagnosed as well, but she didn't seek help. She didn't seek help. So when the child came into our clinic and I was able to identify that, then we helped the mother and we helped the child as well. So we'll refer the mother to the adult service and the child was at the children's service. So it wasn't something that she wasn't aware of. She was aware of it, but she didn't take action. She didn't take
action on her own one. Was she taking action for her daughter's situation?
No, she wasn't the one that took action for her daughter's situation. The daughter was actually referred from school to us. So the daughter was referred from school to home. Yeah. Because it was affecting her academics and it was affecting her daily life activities. So that was why she was referred to us, because we get refers from school as well.
Right. Okay. Thanks.
Do we have anyone that has any other question on that?
No.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, we also have the psychological factors. That's the psychological factors is the negative body image, perfectionism, that's what is reigning now, low self-esteem, bullying, anxiety, depression, the whole psychological factor that may contribute to the development of an eating disorder. Okay, I've had a patient tell me before that friends in school usually tell her that she looks like a pig, she's too fat, she looks like different kind of name calling, bullying. So those are psychological factors that have negative effects on eating disorder. Then we have the environmental factor as well. That's the cultural pressure to be thin, exposure to media, that's the emphasis on thinness, that's what the social media does to you now. I want to be like this model, I want to be like that model. Not knowing that the model has actually fine-tune the picture to make it look like what she wants us to see, not knowing that there's something different that the model is not showing us, not knowing that the model is only showing us what she wants us to see. These are the things that these adolescents and young adults are not aware of, because the model only makes us see what they want us to see. It's not everything that is happening at the background that we are seeing. They only want us to, they do a lot of adjustment, they do a lot of packaging to their pictures that makes them look like what they want the people to see. So those are the environmental factors. And with the fact that everyone has access to phones now, everyone has access to internet information, Google and everything. So it made eating disorder more on the rise. I don't know if we have anyone that wants to contribute to this aspect.
I was just wondering if there was anyone who has ever experienced this or knows anybody who has experienced this and wanted to share anything. If people can just put in the chat box if they don't want to talk, that's fine. Yeah, because I haven't come across anyone with this before, so it's quite new to me. That's why I keep asking questions. Yeah, so I was just wondering if people know people within their network, anybody who is suffering from any of these conditions that Hanifat is mentioning. Perhaps we could hear from people, but yeah, until then, maybe Hanifat, you can go on. And if there's anything,
I think the issue here is a lot of people actually have people that have this condition amongst us, but we are not aware of it.
We are not aware. Yeah.
Yes, and we close our eyes to it. We believe that it is not not real. We believe that it is stigmatization. We don't see it as a problem, which is really the main problem. But I think that's what the problem we're having with the African community. We don't see it as a problem, but it is really a problem. It is really a public health problem.
Let me just say this. So, I mean, even though this is tailored to us here, I always like to bring examples from back home, so those particular ones where people refuse to eat, in a lot of African communities, so, they are, well, I don't want to generalize it, but back in Ghana, there are certain areas where people are struggling to actually get enough to eat. I think that's where that mentality that this condition doesn't exist within our community stems from, because there's food insecurity, there's food poverty, there are people struggling to to get enough to eat. So people can't just comprehend this other thing you're talking about, Hanifa. Am I making sense?
Yeah,
So,
it does.
Anyway.
Yeah, you're really making sense because, in where we come from, people believe that there are a lot of people that are suffering, there are a lot of people that don't have food to eat, and you have food to eat, and you're just thinking that you don't want to eat. So at the end of the day, we just leave our word to just suffer in silence, thinking that everything is fine with them, not knowing that they need help.
Or you force people like that to eat.
Yeah, we do a lot of force feeding too.
Yeah, you just force them, young adults, you just force them that you have to eat this, Right, okay.
In the UK here, that's a safeguarding issue for us. So when we see any mother trying to force feed, it is something that we need to really complain about and report it.
You can't force your child to eat.
No, it's not allowed in the UK. You can't do force feeding.
I see. Okay.
So we have the impact of eating disorders. So I'll be looking at the physical health consequences, like I said earlier on. Eating disorders can have serious physical health consequences: malnutrition, dehydration, electrolyte imbalance, bone health, digestive, a lot of problems, and it can actually lead to hospitalization or death if it is not being taken serious. And then we have the mental health consequences. That's a lot of people going into depression. You see young adults going into depression now. Young adults having anxiety, they have obsessive compulsive disorder, substance use, suicidal ideation. There are a lot of patients that have that they will come and tell us that they've tried to take their own lives. They've had suicidal thoughts because this is happening to them and they're unable to control themselves and unable to help themselves. They are being bullied in school. They are being labeled fat. They are being labeled that they look like pigs, and with different name callings. So this can actually cause a lot of mental health consequences as well. So we have the social and the interpersonal consequences. That's eating disorder can affect social. You see them isolating. Those are the red flags for us when we see people that have this eating disorder. When they start isolating, when they don't want to interact with friends, when they're having difficulties with their academic or professional function, when they're trying to hide themselves from people. Another way they usually do is maybe if they're having a drastic weight loss, you see them in baggy shoes, in baggy clothes, you see them in hiding. You see them sometimes when they come to the clinic, you see them putting stones and putting stones on their pocket so that their weight will be heavier. You see them loading with water, you just to deceive you that they're actually on the right weight, but they are not, because they're just, most times it is disorder, you find them lying. So you really need to know them for you to be able to identify them, because they will never tell you the truth. They usually come up with different kind of stories to make them feel like what they're doing is right. If you have any experience with this.
No, not yet. Today, everyone is quiet. As I said, this seems like a new topic to most of us. Yeah, but maybe at the end we might have some questions.
If I can say something, please. Sorry.
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Sorry, I joined very late. I totally forgot. So what is it, Hanifa?
Yes,
yeah, Hanifa.
Yeah, what she's saying is very true. I don't know somebody personally, but I know somebody who knows another person, and I've recently done a course. Apparently, it's a very big problem in the UK at the moment, eating disorders, and it has been heightened because of social media.
Yeah.
So, like she was saying, the media plays a major role. It has crept up on us. When I say on all of us, because the amount of, or the kind of content the young adults, the adolescents, even children watch on social media, and what is portrayed as ideal, the ideal body image or the ideal body size or whatever, is such a big problem that people are refusing to eat. So like you said, some people always like, they would even eat, some would eat and just go and throw up.
Yeah.
They'll eat before you go and throw up. And it's causing a lot of problems for themselves, health problems for themselves, and for their families as well. It has a long-term effect on the families and everything. So it is happening. It's
is.
really happening.
It
It's
is.
just that it's creeping in on us. So we're not really identifying that.
Mhm.
So I think it's a very good topic that's been
Yeah.
discussed. We need to all open our eyes very well.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Janet. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your contribution, Janet.
Yeah.
Let me go to the next slide. So this is the impact of eating disorder continues. Like I said earlier, the impact of eating disorder on bone health in adolescents and young adults. Bone tissues increases throughout childhood as bone density increases, weight also increases. Then by age 18, 90% of our bone density is developed in female and in male by 20 years. So the adolescent stage is very, very vital. So a few factors that contribute to decrease in the bone density is amenorrhea, that's the absence of menstrual cycle. Those are the things that we look out. Those are the clinical signs that we look out when they're having eating disorders, absence of menstrual cycle. Their period will not be regular, they have irregular period. Some come and they'll tell you that they haven't had period in 6 months, in 8 months. It's because of the fact that they are not nourishing their body properly, they are not eating what they're supposed to eat, they're hiding and not doing the right thing they're supposed to do. Then because there's a decrease in intake of food that contains calcium and vitamin D, and there's increase in stress hormone, so that the impact is having on the bone health of adolescents. And people living with anorexia nervosa are at higher risk of bone fracture later in life as compared to their age range out of and those that do not have anorexia nervosa. So bone density early intervention is very important. So what we generally do for them, those that come for support, is even while we're trying to work with them, we're trying to see how we can help them to actually, some of them will recommend multivitamins for them, supplements, vitamin D supplements, calcium supplements. We see how we can help them to get the essential nutrients they need. Although it's not for eating disorder, the treatment is not like fast. Sometimes you start with the patients and for 6 months you're still on the same page, and sometimes you start with the patients and in 3 weeks you're already seeing results. So it's a different scenario for different individuals. Some individuals are able to get help, and the help is able to impact positively on them. But some people, you might have even done like 10 sessions with them, and at the end of the day, you're still back to where you started from. You haven't made any progress. And some, by 3 sessions, 4 sessions, you're already seeing improvements, and their weight is coming back, their BMI is coming back, and they are not at that critical BMI again. So it depends on individual. So this is one part I usually like to talk about. We have what we call the eating disorder brain versus the normal brain. So the eating disorder is a mental health that it deteriorates into physical health sign that we all know, and it's ending up restricting food, avoiding by exercising. So the body goes to a state of
Hanifa,
yeah?
just hold on. So I'm kind of struggling to hear you, and Daniel, can you just confirm if you're hearing her clearly? Or Shekinah? Anybody
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I think this sounds better. Yeah. So because this is a very important part of your presentation, I wanted to make sure that everyone is hearing you very well.
Someone is raising their hand.
Yes.
Can you go for it, please? The person that raised that is Can I continue?
Yes, please.
Okay, so like I said, I like this part, like the fact that there's eating disorder brain and the normal brain. So, but by the time you start your brain, it gets to deteriorate and it affects your physical health. Then the body goes into a state of malnutrition and the brain goes into a starved brain. And the brain depends on on glucose and carbohydrate as the main source of fuel. So we have a non-functioning brain. But definitely we can still sleep, work, participate in school, but it's in survival mode and not functioning optimally. So this is what happens when we have patients come to our clinic for sessions. They don't, because their brain is already an eating disorder brain, they are not able to make decisions. They're not able to help themselves to make good decisions. So this is where family support and therapy support comes in, because the larger part of their brain, the eating disorder brain has taken part, the larger part of their brain, and their normal brain has shrunk to a small size. So it's not that eating disorder brain that is making majority of the decision. That's when they'll tell you that, okay, I'm fine. I don't need help. I don't need support. I'm fine with 200 calories of food per day. I'm fine with 400 calories of food per day. Well, you know that definitely they are not fine, but it is not them speaking. So this is where the help comes in. This is where the family will know that, yes, this person needs help, or the physician, the therapy comes in and know that, okay, this is not them that is talking, but it is the eating disorder brain, because their well-being has gone so small that it can't make any reasonable decision for them. But it is the eating disorder brain that is making that decision for them. I don't know if you're still with me.
Yes, we are. Yeah, we lost you for a second, but you are back. There's a comment that I would like to read in the chat. Someone says, I have always been on the large side from the age of 14 to now in my 60s. I have put on 4 stones, which I would like to lose 2 of that. My doctor made an appointment for me to have an operation to shrink my stomach. I declined because I understand that my stomach may still expand back to the original size. So with me, I find that it's medical pressure for me to lose weight. That's a good point. But yeah. So the pressure is not just social media. The pressure is coming from everywhere.
Yeah,
And if I do want to comment on this.
In terms of that, I think what you can do is just taking it one day at a time, taking it slowly. What we usually recommend as dietitian is having a lifestyle change, because by the time you have a lifestyle changes, it becomes a part of you. Like you said, if you do the surgery and the stomach is being removed, definitely you're likely to grow the tummy back, because you did not train your tummy, because you did not have the lifestyle change. Lifestyle change means eating healthy, balanced diet and having exercise. Even if it's 30 minutes of work, maybe 4 times a week, it makes a whole lot of sense. It goes a long way than you not doing anything. So it's just having a holistic approach to what works for you, because as individual, what works for us is different, and knowing what works for you and working with it and making it a lifestyle. Because if you don't make it a lifestyle, definitely you will go back to how you were before. So reducing your portion size, eating more fruit and vegetables, taking the high carbs food, cutting down on them, taking exercises, going to gyms, going to yoga, doing what you think is going to help you. And at the end of the day, you will be seeing results. It's better for you to take it slowly. Even as a dietitian, if my patient comes to me that they've lost 0.5 kg in a month, it is a progress. It is a big progress for me as a dietitian, because I know that some people find it difficult to lose weight because of their we have different individual metabolism. So some people lose weight faster than the other. And, we have different hormones. We have different things that is happening in our bodies. So we don't expect people to see the same result. That's why we usually call it an holistic approach. It is an individualized approach. It's not a one-fits-all approach. So that's why you just know what works for you and you go with what works for you.
Thank you. And I'm sure Marcia is doing just that. And that's why she declined the surgery. Okay. Yes, and if okay, we have 9 minutes. And so, I wanted to draw your attention to it. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you. So, like I said, we have the diagnosis and the treatments. Then we have the eating disorders, diagnosed through a combination of physical exams, there's a psychological evaluation and lab test. Like I said, we usually use the DSM-5 to do the diagnosis. Then for treatment, we have the eating disorder. We usually use like nutrition psychotherapy as well. We use medication, or we use nutritional counseling. Like I said earlier on, it's not usually a one size fits all. What works for this person might not work for the other, and the progress of this person might be different from the progress of the other. But what we need to do, what we usually do as a physician is to make sure that they are getting the necessary help that they need. Then cultural competency is important in treatment to ensure that the unique needs of African identity are addressed. Like I said, because of where we come from, because of the stigmatization that in Africa, we need to know that yes, this is what our child needs, and this child needs support as well. So we should not think that our child cannot have it or our child doesn't have it. We should just look for ways of helping them to get away from it. Then the prevention, the role of family and community in prevention. So family and community members can play a role in preventing eating disorder by promoting positive body image, healthy eating habits, and regular exercise. Like I said in my previous, when I said earlier on about the patient that the mom was the one that made I started having, the family is the first place that the child, knows, and so whatever happens in the family is what is they are likely to go.
Yes, as we started by saying, she had to find a place somewhere around the train station to do the presentation. So I'm hoping that she can join us shortly so she can finish the rest of the slides. Yes, I've seen some comments and questions in there. Yeah, I've taken note of them. And so fingers crossed, she'll join us and answer these ones for us. Martha, I like that. A session on this topic aimed at teenagers and young adults would be beneficial, as well as we all know how much they are impacted by social media. Yes, in relation to body image. Yeah, your grandson is very aware and sensitive of his body image. Yes, that's when Hanifa hadn't joined, that was what I was asking the few people who were on the session. So I was asking for suggestions on topics we could do in May. We have a few topics lined up for the rest of April. So yes, we would definitely have a session. In fact, what I would even find more interesting is to get some of these young people themselves to come and talk, if they will, a session where they talk about some of these issues. And then we have one of our experts joining them in a panel discussion. So yes, we will arrange for a session that is tailored towards these young adults. Okay, yes, I'm just keeping my fingers crossed and hoping that my dietitian, who is an expert in this area, will come back and answer this question for us. But whilst I wait for her to come, I wanted to talk about, absolutely agree for young people to talk and participate. Yes, indeed. So we will, once we decide on this, we would urge that you invite your young grandsons and granddaughters and daughters and sons to join, because sometimes it's not easy getting them to join our sessions. So we will plan something for May and then get you to invite them to join the discussions. Yes, Hanifa, are you back?
Yeah, I think you lost me there. So
yes.
I was just talking about what the role the family can play in
Yeah.
eating disorders. The home is always the first place where the child learns from. So we should play our own role. We should try and introduce healthy eating to our kids. We should try and make sure that there's a regular eating. We should try and know what our child is doing, because some child actually live under the the nose of the parent, and the parents are not even aware of what the child is doing. So we should try and know what our child is doing. We should try and know what they're up to. We should try and know what it is happening to them in school. We should discuss with them. We should try and make them understand that a lot of things that they see on the internet are not real. We should make them have this confidence in us by them talking to us and letting them, this is going to really help go a long way. It's going to really make them, believe in us. It's going to really make us see whatever it is that is going on with them. Because sincerely,
eating disorder, it is a serious public health concern now, and it is causing a lot of hospitalization and even sudden death. So it is something we should be aware of.
Okay. Family-centered approach. Is that your last slide?
Yes, please.
Okay, so there's a question in the chat. Ajoke says, as a dietitian, what can you say about gastric bypass? Do you have any comments?
Gastric bypass? Yeah, it depends, because in the UK, there's some condition that makes you want to do it. Even it's just like having bariatric surgery as well. It's so it's the same thing as gastric sleeve or gastric bypass. So, but it is for them to be able to do things like that for you, you have to have like a BMI of about maybe 35, you know, for them to be able to recommend that, like for NHS to be able to recommend that for you. But if sincerely, I don't believe in all that, except it is really needed medically. I don't believe in it. I just believe in you having a lifestyle change and taking it one day at a time according to your own individual needs. That's what we usually recommend. But medically, yeah, but medically, if it is really needed, if it's affecting your quality of life, if it's coming with a lot of comorbidities, then you can be advised to do that.
So, you know, I am a public health nutritionist, so I'm always about prevention. So I was going to say that I always go for using a lifestyle approach, you know, trying to just use your lifestyle. And then I was going to leave my clinical dietitian here to say, okay, you know, depending on which she did say, so depending on the medical condition, but generally as nutrition professionals, we want to always go for lifestyle approaches to losing weight. And, you know, all those surgeries are last options depending on, you know, medical conditions. Okay. All too soon, our time is up. Do you have any final words, Hanifa, before I let you go? I know you're struggling where you are. Any final parting shots for our audience?
Okay, I think what I would say is among the African and Caribbean communities, this stigmatization is very common. We tend to, I'm talking to myself at the same time, you know, there are a lot of things that our children common with, you know, there are a lot of things that we don't, because of the way we were brought up in a disciplined manner. So we tend to underestimate their complaints. We tend to underestimate their concerns, but these things are actually real. They are being bullied in school, they are being called names. So we shouldn't take it for granted. We should be close to our family, we should be close to our children, we should be looking out for the red flags, you know, when they don't want to eat in front of you, when they're hiding their food, when they're making themselves sick after eating, you know, when they're purging. We should be aware of these red flags and we should seek immediate medical help. There's help everywhere. So please let us be on the lookout. Don't let us believe that it can't happen to us. It can't happen to any one of us. So please let us be on the lookout and let's do our own part to help our children, because it is really, really something that is of public health concern, and it is causing a lot of sudden death, and it is causing a lot of lifelong conditions. So we should not take it for granted. Like I said earlier when I started my talk, it's a very broad topic. Mental health is not something we can discuss within 1 hour. So this is just an overview. It is a broad topic, and it is something that we will be looking at doing another session again on this program.
In the future. Oh, yes, definitely. There's been a suggestion to even bring some young people to just have something tailored to young people. So yes, we'll plan that in the coming months. So thank you so much. Our time is up. It's 7 o'clock and we have our physical activity session. So thank you so much, Hanifa. In spite of the challenges you were having, you managed to deliver. That's well researched. So yeah, thank you so much. I've learned a lot, and I hope that our audience have also learned something new on this very important condition that we tend to overlook. So I'm going to hand it over to Shekinah or Orlando. Yes, people say thank you very much
for having me. Sorry for all the.
That's fine. Yeah, that's all right. These challenges do happen. Yeah. So next week we come your way again with another important topic: learning disabilities and nutrition. So please join us same time next week. And Please stay on and join our physical activity session. Over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Hiba. And hello and welcome to the exercise portion of today's session. I hope everybody enjoyed that seminar, and I hope you are staying on for tonight's and core session. All right, so for tonight's session, all you need is a space. You'll need a mat. The few exercises will be taking place on the floor, and just plenty of water as well, because it's been quite hot today. So make sure you stay hydrated throughout the session. All right, so let's get straight into it. So as always, let's start with a warm-up. Let's get our blood flowing. Let's get the heart rate up. All we're going to do to start off with, we're going to do 30 seconds of high knees, okay? 30 seconds of high knees. Let me just change my tunes. So, if you're ready, find your space, and let's get to 30 seconds of high knees. 3, 2, 1, let's. Get those knees nice and high. Try and get them to your waist. We've got a lunge, and we're going to reach out with opposite hand. Let's go. Three, 2, 1. Now go start. Nice and light. Four, 3, 2, 1. Okay, give yourself 15 seconds to catch your breath. Take a quick sip of water here. Get yourself ready now. So next move we have squat and reach. Squat down, touch the floor, reach up nice and tall. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Three, 2, 1, let's move, let's twist. Keep the hips facing straight. Turn it up on side to side. Let's go. Let it stretch those abs. Now, people, 3, 2, 1. Next one, last one. Modified standing. Let's go. Stretch those side abs. Three, 2, 1. That's the time. Okay. Take another 15-second water break. And we're going to go to circuit number 1. Well done. Okay, my good people listening. So, as we normally do with our circuit sessions, we've got 2 overall rounds, so 2 overall circuits, and we have 4 exercises per circuit. And each move we do, we're going to work for 60 seconds at a level at 6 or 7. Again, with 10 being the hardest you've ever worked, and 1 being yourself sat on the couch watching a show on Netflix. All right, so I want you to be working at 6 or 7. All right, so first 2 moves coming your way. First move, we've got standing cross crunches. All right, so we have our hands at the back of our head or front of our head. And what we're going to do, we're going to bring the knee to the opposite elbow. All right, I'm going to stay on one side for 30 seconds here. And then we're going to switch for 30 seconds or the opposite side. After a short rest, from there, we're going to go standing side crunches. So again, hands here or here, and we're going to go to the sides, like so. All right, bringing those side abs together, getting that nice contraction in the muscles. So we've got 30 seconds here, really squeezing those abs, and then we'll have 30 seconds here. All right, so standing cross crunches to standing side crunches. All right, 30, 30, 30, 30. Let's get busy, people. Let me turn these tunes up. Get yourself ready, my people. Start on either side, standing cross crunches. Get ready, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Ready, squeeze those abs, bring those abs together. Keep that going, people. 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Change sides. Keep that going, people. 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Rest. Okay, take 20 seconds. Let those abs rest and recuperate. Ten seconds. Ramp up. Side crunch again. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Let's go to the side now. Stay on one time. Three, 2, 1. Change side for me. Keep that going. 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Time. Okay, 20 seconds left. Okay, listen in while you rest people. Next 2 moves. The next move, we've got quarter lunge. All right. So we've got this leg bent here, slight bend in the knee. The back leg is going to be completely straight. From there, we've got our hands on our thighs, so opposite thigh and back thigh. From there, we're just going to turn up, like we did in the warm-up. Okay, so really twisting the torso, getting that nice contraction in. From there, twist for 30. Twist for 30. Then we'll change our stance. And again, twist for 30. From there, we've got get-ups. Okay, get-ups. We're going to do drop to the floor, all fours. 4, in, up, contract the abs. Down again. 1, 2, 3, 4, up, contract. All right. So quarter lunge here. You can twist both sides. Floor get-ups. Here, 1, 2, 3, 4, stand. Okay, get ready, people. Get ready. Let's take that button. 3, 2, 1. Let's go to that other side. You got to go 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Change side. Going. 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Take your 20 seconds rest. So we've got floors, get up to finish the round, get ready, 5 seconds. 2, 1, go. So guys, it's great. Go. That's what we 20 seconds to go. That's 10. 3, 2, 1. Where's Michael? Beautiful. Take up a nice 30-second rest. And we're going to circle number 2. Well done. Bring your mats in now. Get your mats handy. Okay, people listening, let's go now. Circuit number 2, again, 4 total moves, 60 seconds per move, a little break in between each move. Well, first move, we're going to go nice and easy, but crunches. So we're here, legs there, or legs there, it's up to you. Let me go from this side a little bit. Hands at the back, or at the front. Flatten out, elbows to knees. Okay, elbows to knees. Make sure you're making a conscious effort to contract your abs as you come up. All right, try and feel that squeeze, try and push that squeeze. Really push that stomach together. So here, straighten out, bang, straighten out, contract. From there, leg down, full sit-ups, push those ankles. Down again, full sit-ups, push those ankles. There's your first 2 moves, people. Let's get busy now. Come on. We're hitting the floor now. Let's get ready. Let's get ready. Crunches. Get ready for crunches. 3, 2, 1, go. That kind of people. Last 20 seconds. Breaking. Last 10. 4, 3, 2, 1. And breath. Take 20 seconds. Get those deep breaths in. Think about those full sit-ups. Five seconds. Get ready. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Full sit-ups. Get those ankles. Keep going, people. Seconds left, people. Keep working. Come on. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. And relax, people. 20 seconds. Relax those abs. Get those breaths in. Okay, listening while you're resting. Next 2 moves. Next move, we've got a leg raise. We're going to start with our hands underneath our bodies for support. Keeping the legs together, put them down, catch those legs and body floor, load up. So, there, hold nice and slow. From there, side. Okay, side leg raises. So we're going 30 seconds, side, 3. Again, hands to the bum. And we're going to continue, side, 30 seconds, side. And then we'll change sides for 30 seconds. All right, we're going to change the tune. We're ready now.
Tickle yourself for them calves that be bumping.
Get ready now.
Don't want to slide for
Stop.
it. Then I show them like, let's do that to the first and final. Black, white. One side, sorry, I feel one side, sorry, I feel one side. Then them miss a cat, and them a be one side. Then them first class, everything is alright. Coming out the place and you're feeling right. You're coming out the place and you're feeling right. Then them miss a cat, they might need it. It's a one side, and everything is alright.
Looking, feeling like actually.
Keep going, keep going. Okay, those legs is going halfway now. Keep going.
I said, I am what I am. That's who I believe in. Oh. I'm gonna give you some love back. Everything's all right.
One side, one side, sorry, I feel one side, sorry, I feel one side. Then them miss a cat, and them a be one side. Then them first class, everything is alright. Coming out the place and you're feeling right. You're coming out the place and you're feeling right. Then them miss a cat, they might need it, but that's a one side, that's and everything is alright.
Leg raise this each side. 30 seconds each side.
Right, the shades of
Let's get ready now. So start either side, go to the left, and go to the right. Get ready. 3, 2, 1.
Go to the happy headed kid from the pride. We ain't got no love for the other side. Right.
One side, sorry, I feel one side, sorry, I feel one side. Then them miss a cat, and them a be one side. Then them first class, everything is alright. Coming out the place and you're feeling right. You're coming out the place and you're feeling right. Then them miss a cat, they might need it, but that's a one side, that's everything is alright.
Right. Wait now. Early morning in the stage, do it at the end, and it's going to updo.
Five,
Feeling that you're feeling the blood.
2, 1. Well done, people. Well done. Back to your feet. Take a 30-second water break, and then we'll stretch out.
But we get this, let's make a
One side, everybody, one side. No matter if you're black or no matter if you're white, just come in and you're coming, we are unite. Tell them first class and them on them coming with down. Tell them on the right. Tell them first class and the people, we are be down. But they like it right. You're burning on the things and you whole life right and dance. Don't the people right. Tell them first class, them are here than the my dance. Come the vibes right. Tell them it's a cat, but if I can.
Okay, people, we're back in now. We're back in. Let's stretch those abs off. We're gonna start off by moving our legs side to side. In 3, 2, 1, let's go. Here to shoulder. Okay, bust them stay together. Get up nice and tall. Keeping those legs facing forward, turn side to side. Okay, let's rotate the hips. Really push that stomach out as you go round. Stretch those abs. Change direction. Okay, just to the front. Stretch. Back. Front. One more. Time, people, shake it all off. Well done, well done. Big session tonight. Not sure if Shekinah or Daniel's in the house tonight. Sure. Anybody there? Not sure. Let me just check who's on the call. Yes, Daniel, you're about.
Hi, Orlando.
Shekinah, is it Shekinah?
Yeah, it's me. Amazing workout. How do you feel after that workout?
Good. My abs feel nice and activated. I'm ready. I've connected upper body to lower body. I'm ready for my basketball game. Boom, let's do this.
Amazing. That's great. And what can we be expecting for next week as well?
So next week, we're going to go back into boxer size. I know we've not done it for a little while now, so I've got some new combos to show you all. So yeah, boxer size, boxing fitness from next week, Tuesday.
Oh, nice. And from the seminar, everyone, we can be expecting a talk on nutrition and learning disabilities. So next week is bound to be an interesting session as well. Orlando, any last words for the people?
I hope everyone enjoyed it tonight and worked the abs. Summer's around the corner, so we all want those washboard abs for the summer. So yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed tonight's session and are enjoying all the previous sessions. And don't forget, you can watch our previous sessions on our YouTube page. So if any session you missed or that you want to repeat and do again, then boom, jump onto our YouTube channel. Get busy.
Yeah, on our YouTube, yeah, it's all there for you guys. And also, if you have any questions, you can email us at help@CAHN and we will get back to you on your queries. But for now, we'll see you next week and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Oh yeah.
Take care, everyone.
Peace.
Bye.